Under certain circumstances, as poor flow of blood to the kidneys, infections, injuries, the kidneys fail to perform their function. If kidneys fail, nitrogenous waste are separated from the blood with the help of man-made machines. The process of separating the nitrogenous waste from the blood with the help of artificial machine is called dialysis. In other words, about 500 ml of blood is sent at one time through this machine. Purified blood is reinfused into the body of the patient. Hello dear children, welcome back to the class. In our previous period, we was studied about excretory system. We know that the concept of kidney, the ultrastructure of kidney. We learned about the urethra, urinary bladder. We also studied the process of dialysis. In the case of kidney failure or kidney injured, the doctor prefers the dialysis. Now, in this section, we are going to learn about coordination in plants and animals. So, first thing is that what is meant by coordination? In simple, we can say coordination is nothing but the interaction in a common. But actually, in science, coordination is nothing but the systematic regulation of different processes that can be controlled and bringing out different processes in proper sequence. It's said to be coordination. Okay, I hope so it's clear to you. It's a very simple coordination. For example, sometimes while eating, we bite our tongue or fingers by mistake. Why this happen? Dear children, this is only due to the lack of coordination. Lack of coordination brings the mistakes. Yes. Alright. So, our point is coordination in plants. Dear children, coordination in plants is divided into two types. Growth relevant movement and growth irrelevant movements. Growth relevant movements are further divided into different types, just like phototropic movement, hydrotrophic movement, chemotropic movement, gravitropic movement. These are the different types of movements in plants. Actually, plants cannot move from one place to other place. This is a very common concept that you people know very well. Again, animals can move. Animals can move from one place to another place. Can coordinate with different objects, can interact with different objects. But at the same time, the plants also interact with water molecules. Plants will also interact with sunlight. Plants will also interact with chemical substances like hormones, auxins, gibberellin, and many other chemical substances. In short, plants also coordinate. Again, even in the plants there is absence of nervous system and muscular system. Okay, why it's important? So dear children, nervous system is present in animals, okay, which helps the animals to coordinate sequentially, systematically. Nervous system play very important role. Alright, that nervous system is absent in the plant. It does not mean that plant cannot interact with any other objects. As I said that plant will interact with sunlight. Okay, plant will interact with the water. So these interactions are categorized in this way. So let's begin with the first one, that is phototropic movement. On the word itself indicates that photo means light. Here we have to consider sunlight. Photo means sunlight. Okay. Yes. Tropic movement. Yes. So in this case, if you are observing that the plants is starting to grow towards the sunlight, then such a type of movement is said to be the phototropic movement. In this movement, plant is started to show the growth. That's why phototropic movement is included in the category of growth relevant movement. I am repeating one more time. Phototropic movement is a movement in which plant respond to the sunlight and is started to grow by synthesizing the food material in the process of photosynthesis. My dear children, in this case, sunlight is acts as the stimulus. At night, plant cannot show this movement. Okay. During daytime, when the sunlight emerged on the leaves or plant body, you may observe that the plant is started to show the growth towards the sunlight. You can prove this by a small activity. For example, you can take the box, insert or keep the small plant, make a small hole on the box, pack it completely, there will be the darkness inside the box, keep the box in nearby the window. You may observe that from window the sunlight will enter through the holes, and in place of plant to grow straight, the plant will turn out where the sunlight is coming. It shows that plant is responding to the sunlight. So sunlight is acts as the stimulus. I hope so it's clear to you, the phototropic movement. Second is hydrotropic movement. Hydro, this word means water. Okay, hydrotrophic movement. So in this movement, plant will show growth towards the water molecule. So here we can take the example of plant root cells. So plant root can grow where the water is present inside the soil. In this example, water is acts as the stimulus. Against this stimulus, plant roots are showing the response. Such a type of response is said to be the hydrotrophic movement. In this movement, the root cells are growing towards the water molecules below the soil. That's why the hydrotrophic movement is also considered to be the growth relevant movement. Okay. Now third type is chemotropic movement. Chemo means chemical substances. So chemotropic movement means what? It's a movement in which the plant will show growth against the chemical substances. Okay. In plant body, some chemical substances are synthesized. These chemical substances are called the hormones. We know very well, 8th standard, you was already studied that about the hormones. So hormones are the chemical substances. Okay, my dear friends, in plant body, hormones are synthesized. For example, auxin is the name of hormone which is synthesized at the apical part of the plant, and this auxin hormone is responsible for the enlargement of the apical cells. Apical means apex cells, upper part of the plant. Second hormone is gibberellin hormone. Gibberellin hormone helps in the elongation of stem. And third hormone is cytokinin hormone. This cytokinin hormone, the main function of cytokinin hormone is to help in the cell division. So my dear children, these all are the chemical responses plants give. And the fourth type is gravitropic movements. Gravi is related to the gravitational force, and gravitational force is nothing but the force exerted by the earth on the object. So here also gravitropic movements, in these movements plant will grow deep to the soil. You have to consider here the main root of the plant. Okay, the main root of the plant will go deep inside the soil. In short, we can say that growth we can observe in this case due to the gravitational force. So gravitational force acts as the stimulus, and against this stimulus plant is showing growth. That's why such a type of response or such a type of growth against the gravitational forces is said to be the gravitropic movements. I hope so it's clear to you all the four types. Alright, now let's see here the growth irrelevant movements. Growth irrelevant movements means what? Some specific movements of the plants do not lead to the plant's growth. Such movements are called growth irrelevant movements, isn't it? Yes, do not lead to the plant's growth. For example, in the plant called Venus flytrap, there is a trap that appears and smells like flowers and deceives insects. When the insect visit that flower-like trap, the trap closes and trapped insect, and the insect is digested by the plant. Second example you may free to consider here, the lotus flower opens during daytime while the tuberose flower opens at night. So here light acts as a stimulus. Again, yes. So dear children, this is all about the coordination in plants. Plants also coordinate. I hope so it's clear to you. My dear student, now we are going to learn about coordination in human being. Dear friends, coordination is divided into two types. nervous coordination and chemical coordinations. Nervous coordination is brought by neurons and chemical coordination is brought by chemical substances, nothing but the hormones. So in human being, coordination is categorized into two types: nervous coordination and chemical coordination. So let's begin with the first one, that is nervous coordination. To study the nervous coordination, it's very important to know about the structure of neurons, because nervous system made with the help of neurons. Neurons are considered to be the structure and functional unit of brain. Alright, so my dear students, what is the structure of neurons? We know very well the neurons are said to be the special type of cells. Neurons are different than the other cells. Neurons are considered to be the largest cell in the body. Neurons have the ability to generate and conduct impulses from one form to other, from one place to other places. That's why it is said to be the specialized cell in the body. Neurons functioning and functioning of the neurons supported by a cell called neuroglia. This neuroglia cell supports the functioning of neurons. Neurological cells and nerve cells together form the nerves. There are three types of neurons: sensory neuron, motor neuron and association neuron. Three types of neurons are there. Okay, still the structure is remain to clear. Alright, so many students, the structure is very simple. You just try to observe the structure of neuron. Neuron, upper part of the neuron is said to be the dendrites. Dendrites are the branched structure coming from the cell body. Cell body contains the nucleus at the center. Cytoplasm is present surrounding the nucleus. From the cell body or cytosol, a long unbranched structure is arising. This unbranched structure is said to be the axon. Axon ends with axon terminus. This is the normal structure of neuron. What is function? Yes. So, dear children, dendrites are responsible to receive the signal in the form of impulses. Dendrites are responsible to collect the information in the form of impulses. Sent to the cell body, this collected information transferred to the cell body to the axon, axon to the axon terminus. There is a gap between two neurons. This gap present between two neurons is said to be the synapse, and this gap is filled with the help of electrochemical substances. Electrochemical substances transferred the impulses to the dendrites of the next neuron. So I hope it is very clear. Information is transferred from dendrites to cyton to axon, axon to axon terminals, and axon terminals to the electrochemical substances. We can say that nervous system consists of well-organized network of nerves which can conduct information in the form of electrical impulses from one part of the body to the other part of the body. This is all about the structure of the neurons. Now let's see its types. Number 1, sensory neuron. Sensory neuron conduct impulses from sensory organs to the brain and spinal cord. This is the main function of sensory neuron. Second type is motor neuron. The main function of the motor neuron is to conduct impulses from brain or spinal cord to effector organs. Effector organs means muscles or glands. Okay. So from brain or spinal cord, the electrical impulses are transferred to the muscles of the body and the glands. This is the main function of the motor neuron. And third is association neuron. Association neuron perform the function of integration in the nervous system. These all are the types of neurons. I hope so it's clear. In the next video, we will try to begin the topic central nervous system.